Would you consider Darwin Nunez a generational talent? And the point being, we've always spoke about that pot of money being there for the generational talent. The question I still think is a very valid one, and my answer would be not yet. This video is being brought to you with thanks to our friends at Surfshark. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to not only browse the internet entirely anonymously, but also very securely. Surfshark will secure your data with industry-leading measures using uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. One subscription with Surfshark will work across all of your devices. I use it for unlocking things like American Netflix. We also use it if we want to watch our Canadian DAZN account and a couple of other bits and pieces. The good news is you can get 83% off. That's right, I did say 83% off. And an additional 3 months free using the Anfield Agenda link in the description. They've also got a really credible and unique 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like Surfshark, it doesn't meet your needs, which I'm going to be honest with you, it will and you won't. But if you do, if you want to change, Surfshark give you 30 days to change your mind. Why not give Surfshark a try? You'll be supporting us here at Anfield Agenda and you'll be treating yourself to the best VPN provider out there, bar none. Loads of little things to go through, but I thought maybe, as the chat starts to fill up, lads, we could spend a nice chunk of this stream doing what me and Paddy love doing more than anything else in the world, which is winding up United fans.
Yeah, it's great. Because by all accounts, as I was saying before, obviously I was watching Mr. Goldbridge's reaction on That's Football, and it's just great, isn't it? It's like the defeatist, he's like, we can't compete with Liverpool. It's just great that they know that they are nothing against Liverpool at the moment, and it's just fantastic to be in. Because by all accounts, United were Ten Hag wanted them. They were going hell for leather for the man. They need a striker as much as we do, and probably not as much, but obviously, we don't need as much as them, but. Yeah, it's great to take another one from under their nose, like Van Dijk, Thiago, Mane. Fantastic.
Yeah, so on the fair play to Goldberg's, got to say that. You see he's taken it well, and he's been honest about it, to be fair, as well, which is a bit more, Chris, than can be said for some other Manchester United fans that I've seen on social media. Anyway, I don't know about your own interactions.
To be honest, I try my best to not interact with them. They're a strange breed. You would have to be to support that football club, but they are a tier below now. They have to understand that, whereas we were once a tier below them, and we were for quite a long time. So I'm just going to enjoy being ahead of them in every single way because, yeah, it's enjoyable, isn't it?
They're more than one tier below, by the way. I would argue. Also, I reckon it goes tier 1, City, Liverpool, tier 2, Chelsea, and I would now put Spurs there. Tier 3, Arsenal, United, the rest. Whatever.
Somebody should make a video. I was thinking of this earlier on, and I'm not talented enough to do it. Somebody should make a video when Nunez is announced to troll United fans going, "Hello, Darwin, my old friend." I was thinking of that earlier on, going, that would be fun if somebody could make that. I say somebody because I'm too lazy.
I seen another good suggestion. It was like, get a clip of Van Dijk saying Darwin was one of his hardest opponents, and then Darwin comes up and says, "You don't have to worry about that anymore, my friend." They need to be more creative with that sort of stuff. Not just be something outside the box, funny and cool.
Darwin Nunez, let's just get into it, lads. Let's not tease the good folks tonight. It's the weekend. Let's kick it off in good style. Right, look, where we are right now is that it's just minor details, crossing of the T's, dotting of the I's. The most important thing to point out here is, as I said at the start of the stream, the back down from Manchester United fans around the world who are suddenly calling them overpriced and trying to take a moral stance that they walked away because of the price. God bless them. It's beautiful.
That is the biggest crock of horse shit I've ever heard. If any club in the world loves paying over the odds, it's Man United. I seen a tweet there. It was like, Man United have decided to leave Nunez to Liverpool. In other words, Nunez has said, fuck off to Man United. Yeah, they can dress it up however way they want. There's no hiding that they were madly in from, and their big brothers, the Mac Daddy came in and swooped and got their man, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah, they're trying to make out, Chris, like they took some moral stance on this, like it wasn't one of those, like they weren't ghosted by the player completely. They were doing everything they could to try and gazump us to get him. And I've got loads of credit for those United fans who are just like, oh, well, understandable. Like Goldbridge, it is where we are right now. We're a tier below. But we don't want to talk about them because they're no fun. We want to talk about the ones who are losing their minds. That's where the entertainment value is here.
Absolutely. I think Manchester United fans need to have a long, hard look at themselves, to be honest with you, if they think that they can even compete with Liverpool for a transfer. The only way that they can compete is financially. Football-wise, manager-wise, infrastructure-wise, they are miles behind. And I mean miles. As far as Liverpool were behind them at one point. Like they are truly like in a different category now to Liverpool in terms of attractiveness as a whole.
No. They're bad. They're bad, but they're not Milan Jovanovic, Poulsen, Donny levels.
Yeah.
We still came sixth that season, by the way.
We had some fucking stinkers.
Yeah,
we still came sixth that season.
They've never gone that low.
We still came sixth in that season.
There's no, but I'm talking about
that's why United finished this season.
Yeah, but you're talking about the attractiveness of a club.
Well,
they're not signing Milan Jovanovic. They're not signing these sort of man. Like, no, they're really shit, really bad, but they've never quite been as bad as we were at that time.
I would argue that they're worse because Aaron Wan-Bissaka was 50 million, Harry Maguire was 80 million. They're looking to move on.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's true. They've just been stupid with their money, in fairness, where we didn't have the money to do because we were nearly running to the ground. So
we literally were managed by Roy Hodgson for half a season and finished in the same position that they had.
Look, there's something we can't get away from here, gents. And Hannah asked me a question in her Discord earlier on, which I think was a very good question. She said, would you consider Darwin Nunez a generational talent? And the point being, we've always spoken about that pot of money being there for the generational talent. There isn't a pot of money for this deal. This deal will be financed by Sadio and fringe players. But the question I still think is a very valid one. And my answer would be, not yet. Not yet. I do think there is risk associated with the transfer. Calculated, mitigated risk as much as you can, of course, by looking at the stats and all. But it's not as much of a slam dunk, I would say, as Haaland with regards to, he's going to do it. He's coming in. He's going to do well. But, generational talent, I think it's a bit too early for me to be throwing that type of thing around.
He's very raw. He's still very raw, but the it's there. It'll take a Klopp to get it out of him. And I think this is a big move for Mr. Nunez. I believe there's an Enye on the end, so it's a rather than just to say. A generational talent, no, not yet. I think he's only had one really good season, so we can't take the piss a little bit. It is a lot of money. And arguably, it is over the odds. It is, but it's one of them where it's a calculated risk. It's a punt that needs to be taken, and I think under Klopp he will become a demon. And the narratives are there for him. The good vibes are there. He's Uruguayan. We like Uruguayans. Torres-esque in his look. I just love the vibe.
And for you, Chris, where would you rate Darwin Nunez in this kind of? And look, it's a hypothetical scenario. He hasn't kicked the ball for us yet, but do you think it's a risk here, paying whatever it's going to be, 75, 80 million pound?
Paying that sort of money for any player, in my opinion, is a risk because they could snap their leg tomorrow. It's still there. With Nunez, I think that if Jurgen Klopp is willing to part with that money for a player, Jurgen would never settle for second when it comes to who he wants. And I have a feeling that he's just going to explode. I really, really do. Whether it'll take him 2-3 years, whether he'll do it immediately, I don't know. But he has got all the ingredients. He just needs to make that perfect stuff. So I honestly, I think, I'm not sure a risk is the right word. I think a calculated risk, like Paddy said, is probably the better way.
We're paying for potential. Would we say that's fair?
Craig, your speaker's on a mad one again.
Yeah, it's your speaker, Craig. Sorry, bro.
So you said something to me on yesterday's stream, and I'll be honest, it didn't register with me. So I was just like, yeah. And then anyway, I just moved on to something else.
Look, we all do it. It happens to us all the time.
Listen, Nunez, it's a risk. I'm not going to lie. I had reservations about Nunez when we weren't even in with him, when we were floating the idea of who could we sign as a striker. He's very raw. His touch is, his touch can be poor. He can be a bit sloppy, but he's a raw talent. He's not a Messi. He's not a skiller. He's just a brute striker, and an elite finisher. And that is the reason. That is what we need. A killer in front of goal. Some of the finishes he scored last season, particularly one of the ones against us, the way he just perfectly half chipped it into the bottom corner at Anfield. That's what we need. That's what we lacked. We didn't score in 3 finals. He's the man we need. I'm not expecting him. Listen, don't expect miracles straight away. Give him a chance, but I'm hoping he does score on his debut because that will obviously start him well.
And
If we get him.
also, a lot has been said about his height and stuff. People forget how quick he is. He is absolutely lightning quick.
Yeah.
When he gets going, it's like a galloping stallion almost. He's so, and he's a beautiful one to watch as well. Like I don't know whether it's like Virgil when he's running, it sort of glides across. He is like a powerhouse. So yeah, he's someone you can play into behind as well. I'm so looking forward to seeing him, man.
You know what this has done for me genuinely, and I've never looked at. Okay, I don't want to say I didn't look at City as a rival because clearly on the pitch they were, but this has lit a fire under me now because 2 managers, 2 new centre forwards. It really does feel like and we've even done it, the centre forward thing in a more Liverpool-y way, Paddy, in that we haven't gone out there and bought. We haven't been able to go out there and buy the Haaland, the proven striker, the Mbappe, or we've had to kind of look into the stats. And I won't call him a rough diamond or an undervalued asset, Nunez, because he's still relatively young. But the way we've done it's very Liverpool-y. And if it works, oh God, it'll be sweet.
Yeah, listen, yeah, absolutely. I will say though, I think we have to just take a step back and be honest about it. If Man City went down and signed Nunez for 100 million, we 100% would have been like, wow, look at them just spunking money on someone like that. Not, it is true. We have to be honest here.
Are you daring to suggest that us football fans are hypocritical, sir?
Yeah, I know. It could never be us. But listen, I'm confident about the man. I'm really confident. It's about time the club took a punt like this. We haven't done one in a long time. I don't think we've done a punt like this under Klopp ever. Not this big. Van Dijk wasn't a punt. We knew what we were getting with Van Dijk. He's a colossus. He was class.
And we had the stupid bastard tax that we had to pay for getting caught talking to him before as well.
Yeah. So this is the first time in Klopp's tenure where proper just said, fuck it, let's go, boom. And it's one that I think will pay off, but there's no guarantee. But I am very excited by the man.